Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatsMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Right, today we're going to go to the bookshelves to find a real-life fantasy location. Yes, it's the Lord of the Rings. Now, as close as I've got to reading the books was watching the movies, much like most of you guys, no doubt. So there might be one or two locations here that you might feel that you've got an affinity with. Now, is this map any good? Well, first of all, I need to tell you that
It's my first map.
and it kind of shows, but there's a lot of effort gone into it, and I'm not going to come down too harsh apart from in the ratings. So don't worry, I'm going to be good today. I'm going to be very, very good. That's right, by being good, I'm hoping you're going to slap that like button and find me a few more subscribers while you're at it. Thank you very much, you lovely, lovely people. Today's map is New Mordor by Aslangorn. Aslangorn? Where has Aslangorn? A different book, probably. Anyways, let's have a look at the start square. Start square, yep, that definitely works, doesn't it? I think so. We're not in the mountains, like it. We have mountains. It's Mordor, so it's like a wall of mountains protecting Mount Doom from the outside. And then you've got resources. The resources, well, we've got a lot of ore. Be careful when you're mining that ore. You might end up digging up some of those orcs. And then if we go off to the workshop, it would appear that there is nothing to subscribe to. We'll talk more about that later. And we have got a lovely little description, one of the best written ones for a while. So I highly recommend having a little browse through that, even if you're not planning to take on the game. Always worth having a read. Reading is good, which is why I didn't read Lord of the Rings. It's time. I still had time to watch 10 hours worth of movies though, didn't I? Oh yes, and so did you. Okay, right, so we're going to start off with the highways. This is the best bit of the highways here. Yeah, this is the best bit of the highways. It's going to get a little bit troublesome, and to be honest, building highways over bumpy ground is troublesome in the old vanilla game, and that's what I feel has been attempted here. Now, this is also probably the best bridge on the map, so absorb that. And this is good standards, right? Not great standards, but good standards. I can live with that. Now, a little bit of a gouge in the terrain coming off of there, and we're elevated, and it's fine. A little bit of jinky janky going on there. And then it's all going to go a little bit downhill in terms of network standards, but I'm not going to come down too hard because it's tough. Even with all the mods and all the tricks and all the knowledge, this would not be the easiest of intersections to have built onto the side of a hill. So we'll say that. What we'll also say is we are elevated at ground level, which, well, it looks a bit awkward, especially the way that the ground on either side just clips in a little bit here and there. And then you're also risking, if you're going into a cutting, having an elevated road in a cutting. An elevated, delevated road. Delevated? What's the opposite of elevated? Never mind. Okay, coming up towards the start square now, so exciting times ahead. Start square has a decent intersection. It's not a polished intersection, but it's a decent one. Definitely going to get a lot of traffic running through that. I see no problems with it, really. Yeah, okay. So, and then apart from the traffic going back onto the highway, where traffic is feeding onto the highway on the right there, on and off within a module of each other. Anyway, start square, which gives us the asset of the day. And this one is one of my favourite sets, I've got to be honest with you. It's from the Vancouver set. It's the Old North York Town Hall by JSF1. And there's just something about these brick-built, low-flung, sprawling buildings I like. Factoids, because factoids. Harold Wilson, former Labour Prime Minister of Great Britain, was born on this day, the 11th of March, in 1916. Asked once what was required to become a successful politician, Mr. Wilson replied, the greatest need a head of state has is the ability to get a good night's sleep. Which is why I'm never going to be head of state, for that and many, many other reasons, as I'm recording this at 4:20 a.m. Just a quick glance at the clock. Yes, up all night for you guys. Anyway, the Old North York Town Hall by JSF1. I love this series. Definitely worth checking out their collection as well. Now let's go and check out the rest of these highways, shall we? Let's have a little nosy. Remember, one of the main reasons why we use the highways and the rail to go around the map, it's not just to look at the quality of the roads, but it's just to get a feel of the surroundings as well. And you can say, oh, I fancy building in here, or there's an interesting location. And speaking of interesting locations, one of the things I remember from the movies, well, yeah, there were 3 movies, so yes, one of the, I think it was probably the 3rd one, probably, because it was as they were approaching Mordor. There were the swamps, the marshes. Do you remember them? Yeah, that was really spooky, dank vibe. Like the pillar placement there, good pillar placement, well done. So yeah, dank and whatever. And on the right hand side, you can see some marshes, and it kind of makes sense to me. I'm not au fait with the map. I have seen, you know what, when you see the map of Mordor and Middle Earth, and you look at it and you run your finger over it, and you go, really, is that? Oh, yeah, that's kind of how I feel with this. Is yeah, if you're telling me there are marshes right here, I believe you. It's actually taken from a terrain height map. They've gone onto the internet and found a terrain height map of Middle Earth. That's what they've used for this, you know. Very nice. Anyway, we'll come back and have a glance at the marshes later on. And then we've got an intersection here, which lead off to the edge of the map on the right. And you might notice here an overhanging tree. You might also notice that it is not vanilla. So, if it's not vanilla, we've got some custom assets, and we didn't have any listed. So anyway, here's a list of all of the custom assets that I was already subscribed to on the workshop already. Got no traffic on the right-hand lane there. I'm going to have a little look at that and put a little note on the screen in a minute. Well, we'll talk about that in a moment. But anyway, yes, what we've got here is a whole bunch of custom assets that I was already subscribed to. And then we've got a few custom assets that I wasn't subscribed to as well. So yeah, you need to get all of these listed as dependencies. Otherwise, people are going to end up with a blank map. And nobody wants that, do they? Anyway, this is not a perfect bridge, so it's probably a very good episode to have the perfect bridge intermission. So we'll stick that in today's show as well. But yes, coming up on the screen now will be a little note as to whether this highway was broken. I'm actually going to go back and check that after recording. And so yes, was it broken? Screen, tell us now. And there's your answer. I'm going to have to find that out myself. Anyway, down here we have got, oh, there's some traffic flowing there. So maybe it's just start of map traffic. I'll still check anyway. Anyway, the rail goes off to the edge of the map there. I don't know if I would have brought in the rail and the road from over here, to be honest with you. But that's what we've gone with. And I can see the reasoning, you know, bringing it in through all the barriers and linking up Mordor with the rest of Middle-earth. And apparently, that the residents of Middle-earth don't mind highways being built through their pristine countries, and quite right too. They should be brought up to modern times. Although, to be honest with you, I think they probably want to spend a bit more money on their structural engineers. Probably. Small sections where it comes back down to ground level. We've definitely got a broken railway there. Definitely, there's no question on that. And if we go down a little bit further, you might notice on the left-hand side about now, we've definitely got another broken one. That's even more broken than the first one. So it won't surprise me if that highway happened to have been broken, but you know whether it was, and I don't at the moment, so I'll bow to your greater knowledge on this matter. Anyway, the rail then comes back down to ground over here. It obviously has been a little bit uppy-downy. You might have noticed that without me telling you, but it was to be expected given the the quality of the networking on this map. And then, I mean, this up and down in the start square, honestly, in context with the rest of the map, that's not bad, is it? In context. You can see something quite nice in a moment. It's not been done to the highest of standards, but it will just go to show that efforts were made by the creator to try and make things of a decent standard. And of course, it's just they probably haven't got Fine Road Tool. They probably don't have Move It. And so anyway, if we head down here, you'll notice that the crossover on the rail, as we go across the highway there, you can see the way that it's being waved over, and it's just try to do a gentle incline. So some efforts were made. Right, anyway, that's going to go off to the fog, which means we're going to have a little look at a bridge tutorial, and we'll come back with the shipping. What do you think?
Do your bridges look like the game's AI has gone on holiday? Would you like vanilla bridges to be proud of? Then you need the beginner's guide to perfect bridges by BonBonB. Click the information button below.
And so back to the shipping in New Mordor by Aslangorn, and the answer is there's no shipping. Now, I think we probably could have got away with some off on the right hand side there, in the top right hand corner. That is wide enough and probably deep enough, but again, it's outside of the 25 tiles, so I see an argument for there no shipping on there as well. So yeah, I can't see an issue. Water flow, this is the water that's running through the start square. There's just about enough to get you started, and then when you branch out a little bit further over here, we've got a strong river with plenty of water running on it. So this, I would say, is not going to be a problem for you. Good. Okay, now overall, it's a very striking map. It is very a fantasy map. We have Mount Doom in the middle here, with the this is now dormant, and it's got the side. You also got the little the Parklife cave on the side there, which looks like where old Frodo would have made his way in to throw his ring into the fires. And I like that idea. That's a good use of that one. You never hear me say that, do you? Never see. Yeah, okay, right. We have water spawn points that are typical fantasy networking. It's okay. I can live with it. And actually, I'm going to be honest with you. This particular one here, where you've got the water spawning out the sides of the edges of the mountain there, I kind of like that in this instance. Because of the genre that we're in, the area that we're in, it is Mordor. I'm not saying I like it, but I kind of like it, sort of. I suppose normally I would come down like a ton of bricks on that. Speaking of tons of bricks, you can make bricks from clay, and you can get clay from marshes. And this is the old marshy area. Don't know what I'm saying sometimes. This is the old marshy area here with a lot of the old custom reeds and whatever. Some effort's been gone into detailing this area as well. It's clean, it's tidy, it's okay actually as marshes go. I've seen areas I don't believe as marshes before, and I don't mind the drowned trees in marshes. That's all good with me. Yeah, we saw that the river didn't quite join up with the edge of the map, so that's probably why we didn't have shipping on this particular river. And then down here, you've got a good buildable area on either side of these rivers as well, if you want to break out from the 25 tiles with the 81 tile mod and just build on an area outside of Mordor as well. Anyway, yes, it's interesting. I'm just going to say that. It's an interesting build. But what do you think of it? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. What do I think? I think probably not. Definitely not. No, almost certainly not. But I'm really glad to have found it. Aesthetically, we are working from a terrain party map. It's a terrain map, and I think that really makes the map come to life. I think we could use a custom theme, and I think we could use a lot of polish, but it's okay-ish. I'm going to give it a high 2. High 2 for aesthetics. Detailing. So, well, a lot of effort has gone in. Unfortunately, I'm struggling to give it 2 stars because obviously we've got, well, none of the custom assets required on the workshop. I hate to say it, I think I have to give this 1 star for detail, despite all of the effort that has gone in. Kind of feels like a 2-star map, but no, 1 star for detail. Gameplay. It's playable, actually. It's playable. I don't think I'd want to play it myself, but I'm gonna go low 3. It's not an enticing map. There's a lot you'd want to fix, but as it stands, if you want to play a standard vanilla style game, go for it. New Mordor by Aslangorn. That was my first map, and it showed. And my voice is going, so I'm gonna try and eke the words out gently to the end of the show so that hopefully my voice doesn't crack completely before we get to the end. Thanks very much for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing, for joining me for this episode of What Map. And don't worry, this is just asthma. 1 good cough and that'll be gone and I'll be able to talk again. And I'll see you very, very soon.